I've had at least 2, 3, maybe 4 people actually go through walls. Wing Chun is the martial art, but Kung Fu means hard work, and nobody likes hard work. I would let cars run over me. The law of the streets. My name is Carl Godwin and I teach Wing Chun Kung Fu at Seminole Wing Chun in Sanford, Florida. Wing Chun Kung Fu was developed by a Buddhist nun and made popular by Bruce Lee in the Ip Man movies. I started training in Wing Chun in October of 1978 at Seminole Community College. I was always interested in martial arts and I took several styles of karate at local schools. And then when Wing Chun was offered at Seminole Community College, I began training there. When I was young, I liked the Kung Fu TV show and the Green Hornet and Bruce Lee movies. And when Wing Chun was offered at Seminole Community College, I jumped at the chance to train. Wing Chun lesson consists of the 3 traditional empty hand forms, the wooden dummy form, partner training, and weapons training. When preparing a lesson for a Wing Chun training, you have to take in consideration whether the students are going to be beginners, intermediate, or advanced. Most of the students we have are advanced. Most advanced students already know the basic movements, and you focus on details of application. Well, Wing Chun is the martial art, but Kung Fu means hard work. And nobody likes hard work, even myself, but it's the part that we endure. I mean, hard work in Kung Fu and hard work means doing something that's really not enjoyable. It's not like doing, getting results from push-ups and sit-ups. It's standing in a particular stance that's uncomfortable for 20 minutes, and you can't wait to stop. But the benefits in the long term are what you're after. The 1-inch punch is based on a Wing Chun concept called Chun Fat Lik, which means power applied to a single point from an extended arm. And it was made famous by Bruce Lee. Bruce Lee did it to get students, and back in the 80s, 90s, and early thousands, that's what we used to use to get students. Before you perform the 1-inch punch, you have to let the other person hit you with their best punch from their style. And so I would have to be able to take that punch and then put them in a position where I would do the Wing Chun 1-inch punch, and that was probably the biggest selling point back in the 80s. There's been a lot of times that people would doubt the power of the 1-inch punch, and when we would demonstrate it, they would hold a phone book, and yep, I've had at least 2, 3, maybe 4 people actually go through walls. Qigong is the specific health building aspect of Wing Chun, and the stances that we use build up the bones in the body so that they can take stresses. And for demonstrations back in the 80s and 90s, I would let cars run over me, and I would accept punches from anybody in the audience. These are the Wing Chun butterfly knives. These are the butterfly knives of Wing Chun are shaped like the human hand. You see how the hook is like the thumb and the blade is shaped like the hand, and you can use them in Wing Chun training just like we use the empty hand work. This is the Luk Dim Boon Kwon. This is the 6.5 point long pole. And in olden days in China, there were opera troupes that would float up and down the river on boats. They were called red junks, and that was the red boat opera. And these poles were used to push the boats down the river. And if a boat had to deal with bandits, the person who was in charge of pushing the boat would have the pole to fight with. And several Kung Fu styles use this pole as a weapon, and Wing Chun is one of those styles. This is the Okinawan weapon, the nunchaku. Every child in Seminole County in the 1970s had to know how to use these just to survive on the streets. The blowgun is nice because it integrates both eyes, stereoscopic vision, and proper use of the breath. Wait. This is a two-bladed axe. Historically, traditionally, Wing Chun was developed by a Buddhist nun named Moy. So therefore, any school should really have a representation of Buddha. This is our Buddha here, and you're going to find Buddha throughout the school. There's some more Buddhas up there. In 1982, when I opened up the school publicly, I painted a mural of the crane and the snake on the wall. There's a crane behind the mukjong there, and there's a snake behind the mukjong there, and a crane there, and the characters for Wing Chun between them. These pictures are important though, because this is my teacher here, and his teacher is Ben Durr here. And I try to travel out to California every once in a while to visit him and work out with him. Here's Ben and I about 10 years ago working out, and his teacher is Kenneth Chung. Kenneth Chung is here in this picture. That's Ben Durr, that's Kenneth Chung. This is about 20 years ago. And this is kind of a lineage of our Wing Chun. Yep Man, his first student was Leung Shung. Leung Shung's student was Kenneth Chung. Kenneth Chung's student was Ben Durr, my teacher, and then me. If it wasn't for a movie that my sister took me to in the late 60s, maybe 1970, this school would not exist. And of course, there has to be respect to the great Zen master Billy Jack. And a lot of anatomy is discussed in our class. We're always going through anatomy and the basics: nervous system, muscular system, skeletal system, articulations, as well as some students are very concerned about injuries to the shoulder. These are the mukjongs. I make all of our wooden dummies. This is where we keep the long poles. And then our little shrine to fencing and Wing Chun over here with the fencing blades and the Bacham Do, as well as the student library, which all students are welcome to check out any books or CDs, VHS, or other reference materials. And that brings us back to the beginning. The most rewarding aspect of teaching is to see students get to a level that they challenge your skills, my skills. Seminole Wing Chun doesn't offer a 9-week course nor a 3-year black belt course. We're in our 46th year, and we're here for life. So we just keep going.